And welcome to another edition of the ETBU Sportsnet Coaches Show. I'm Kenneth the K-Rock Klein, and for the first time here in this Tiger Room, we have head coach Janae Shirley. Of course, we saw her last time, but it was in the clubhouse, so had to do it in a little more comfortable settings, but that's okay. The clubhouse is nice and comfortable as always. But Coach Shirley, your team started off with 5 games last week and came away victorious in all 5 of them. There were some games that were hard fought and close, and then some games where you managed to take control and just went all the way from there. But 5-0, great start to the season. Just kind of about the team's mindset after the first 5 games, things that you were very impressed with overall.
Well, I think that was a great week for us. 5 games in a week is challenging, especially your first week out. But I walked away from it very pleased. We have an all-new pitching staff, and so to see them go out there and handle business and give us an opportunity to win was definitely a positive thing. So I was pleased with that. But the girls did a great job of fighting through and staying in the game the whole time, and so I was definitely pleased with all 5 of those games.
Certainly, Coach. And one of those pitchers that you actually have was Beatrice Lotta, I think, or B. Lotta, as we like to call her and all that. Her first start in her collegiate career against Centenary, she went 7 innings, struck out 12 batters, gave up a run on 2 hits, and that got her ASC Pitcher of the Week. I mean, think about it. A freshman pitcher, her first start, and she has a great performance like that, and all of a sudden she gets Pitcher of the Week honors. I mean, what does that do for the mindset, especially for someone making her first ever collegiate start?
Yeah, it's been interesting, not just with B, but all of our freshman kids. Just the confidence that they bring to the mound has been super impressive for them to be, that was her first collegiate game. She handled it very well. She's a kid that when you turn on the lights and it's game time, she's going to compete regardless of the situation, and she did that. And, again, she had another phenomenal game on Saturday, and every time she's set foot on the mound, she's given us an opportunity to win. So we've been pleased with that. Not just her, but the rest of the staff has done a great job, but I'm super excited for her start to her collegiate career.
Certainly, Coach. And, you had last weekend, of course, you had some competition with Pacific University. I mean, this was a team that we saw them play against Mary Hardin Baylor, and they really kind of surprised us. They took it to UMHB. Of course, there was a blowout game and a comeback from behind game. So you knew going into that they were going to bring in some tough hitters. And obviously the first game was pretty hard fought, came out on top. But then the second game, you were kind of able to stem the tide and keep momentum in your favor. So when you're taking on out-of-state competition, I mean, obviously, because you know that they're a solid team, what is you just got to worry about, trying to maintain the execution, trying to keep the focus so that way you don't worry about, what they bring to the table as long as you go out and do your job?
We were, just in general, we're very big on not necessarily what other people do, but doing what we do and doing it well. And as long as we do that and focus on that, then every time we give ourselves a chance to win. Going into both the Mary Hardin Baylor game and the Pacific game, we didn't have really a big idea of what either one of those teams could do outside of the last times that we had played them. Pacific, we played them 2 years ago here, and all those kids were young, so we knew that they were going to have like a more veteran team, and they did a phenomenal job. I was very impressed with just how they were coached and how they handled themselves. And Mary Hardin Baylor again has a new pitching staff, and so we kind of went into it blind, but our girls did a great job of changing and transitioning throughout the game and adjusting to what they were doing. So we were pleased. It was, I was definitely pleased with how our kids handled the pressure that Pacific put on them. Mackenzie Anderson did a great job at third base, just kind of neutralizing what they did offensively to Mary Hardin Baylor, and so that was helpful, but I was pleased with the transition they made.
All right, Coach, so this weekend you're heading for your first ASC Conference road trip, and you're taking on Sul Ross State University out in Alpine. Now, it's one thing to play against a team like Sul Ross. That's the simple part. I mean, it can be challenging, but it's simple. But the bigger challenge, of course, you got to make that a long bus trip from Marshall to Alpine, going across the state. And so for some of your freshmen, obviously that have not experienced that before, what is the preparation for handling a road trip like this? Are you going to be making a stop somewhere to practice? Obviously you'll find some place to go eat and all. Just talk about the transit, like making the trip from Marshall to Alpine in particular.
Yeah, well, obviously this is their we have a large group of freshmen this year, and this will be their first road trip as a team. So I think for us, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for our team to get to know each other a little bit better and for us to bond and stuff. We will be stopping in Midland at my alma mater to go practice at Midland College for a little bit, just kind of move around, and then we'll finish the trip. But, I think this team showed, especially with the conditions on Saturday, that they can adjust to what goes on. And I think that any day they would rather take a 12-hour bus trip with good weather than play in, 28, 29 degree weather.
Yeah.
So I think that they're just excited for an opportunity to play, and they're ready to get rolling.
All right, Coach. Well, best of luck to you this weekend as you take on Sul Ross State University this Friday and Saturday. We will have Coach Shirley on next week for more competition this season, so stick around.